Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sent with Emphasis. I am so glad you are all back and here to listen. I am here with Emily Morgan.
Hello.
And now you can probably tune out now because you already know that this episode is just going to get fucking canceled or something. Like, just leave. Just log out, please, for the love of God.
We've been saying this is either going to be the most viewed episode yet or the least viewed episode yet.
Yeah, I'm airing on the side of a least viewed. So if you've made it, what is this? We are like 4 seconds in. Thank you so much for listening. It means a ton to us.
And I saw the name for your podcast, The Scent with Emphasis. I was laughing so hard because I'm totally like a scent with invisible ink. That is my thing. I always send like every message with invisible ink.
Yeah.
When you're like shit talking or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is so fucking funny that she said that because it just describes like her personality so well. I was like, if I ever go on her podcast, I have to tell her that.
That is funny. I kind of love that. I love that you picked it up right away, that it was like the messaging thing, like the scent with emphasis. Because I feel like a lot of people didn't get that right away.
Oh, no, I got it.
But I love that. That is hilarious. That should be like an interview question I ask all my guests. So like, what kind of like iMessage thing? Yeah, what do you send with?
The confetti, the balloons,
Are
the
you
spotlight, invisible ink.
I'm going to change the name of this podcast and everything because of it. Canceling the marriage. Send with invisible ink. That is so fucking funny. I'm going to name this episode that. That is so funny.
I've been meaning to tell you that.
Emily here has a fun little affirmation for us.
This was my affirmation when I woke up this morning, and I just thought it was so perfect. One day, my story will become someone else's survival guide.
Wow. Look at you. That's way more deep than I thought it was going to be. You're like, I need to share something. Like, oh, this is going to be some stupid shit. Like, I don't know what this is.
I thought it would be perfect for a conversation today.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds really good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was your weekend?
So nervous.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Nothing matters.
Nothing
Emily and I were literally just sitting here for like probably 20 minutes before pressing record, and we're like, okay, we need to stop talking. Like, we need to save something. Now here we are.
Here we are. Let's hope we can repeat it all.
Yeah. So Emily is from the same hometown as me.
Yeah.
When did we meet?
I was thinking about that. I think it was like middle school, wasn't it?
Was it middle school?
Club volleyball.
Fucking athletes. We are athletes. I think it was.
Yeah.
And then we just became friends ever since. But are you sure that was right when we met? Why do I feel like it was earlier? But there's no reason it would have been.
My whole life, but I swear it was club volleyball.
I feel like we made vines together.
Yes.
I feel like that was what was going on at that time.
Yeah, we had like all mutual friends though, I think.
Yeah, and then we went to different middle schools, went to different high schools, and now we're like, you know what? It's time for us to be friends. We're going to go to the same college, okay? It's totally fine. I feel like one thing we want to talk about is like friendships.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. We were just kind of
survival guide.
Our survival guide. Here we are. But I know you especially have gone through, like, you've had a lot of close best friends, and that's not being like, oh, every week, new best friend, but I feel like you've had a lot of people that you formed that bond with. How have you gone about, like, not ending those friendships, but kind of growing past them?
Yeah, like, which I would agree. Like, I've had the, like, privilege, honestly, of being able to be close with so many people. And I think, like you said, like, friendships are situational, and yes, it's hard to leave like that behind when you realize like the friendships are maybe fading a little bit, but I feel like now I'm at a place where I'm able to look back at that and just be so appreciative of it. And like everyone serves a purpose in your life, whether they're meant to be there forever, whether they're meant to be there momentarily. And it's just kind of like finding that balance, not to say that it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly.
When you're not friends with anyone anymore. But like, yeah, I think that's been like so important for me. Like I can honestly look back at 99% of the friendships that I've had and been like, I'm genuinely thankful that I had you, even if it was for a year or for a month or for whatever, for life.
Yeah. I feel like too, you are someone who gives your all to the people who are in your circle. Like you kind of like
for better or worse.
Yeah. For better, that's up for you to decide, but that's kind of how you've always been, and you've always kind of clung on to that situational side of friendships. And I feel like there's not ever bad blood with it. It's just what happened.
Yeah.
It's kind of natural.
I feel like that was like a difficult thing about coming to college too, because it's kind of that like point in your life where you realize like, was I the only one putting in the
The effort. Yeah,
with
like
this
was it
friendship.
one-sided?
Was it one-sided? Was it two-sided? Was it 70-30? Was it 40-60? Like, and so I think that was like a really hard pill to swallow for a long time. And I think like now, like we've said, like the friends are situational, and it's like I still have so much love for everybody that I've been friends with, but it's like watching that is almost like you almost need to make a decision for yourself. Like if it's causing you more harm and is making you like just drained and exhausted trying to put in effort with something that's like already out the door, then that's the point.
I feel like people always say that your true friends will come out in hard times, and not comparing college to like any trauma or any hard times by any means, but it kind of in the same sense is along the same lines. College will show you who your true friends are, who, not saying that you're going to meet them in college, you might not, it's up to you, but you kind of see what dead plants you've been watering, as people say. Like you can kind of tell if someone's not putting in the effort, if they're not going to come see you or make plans, because it kind of gets to that stage of your life where now you have to make plans to see your friends. You're not going to sports with them after high school, and it sucks. It literally sucks, but it really allows you to realize who's worth giving the effort to and who's not giving it back.
I was having this conversation with my mom this past weekend when I was home that like seeing people you haven't seen in so long is literally a fever dream. Like I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, you see everyone you've ever known.
It's a high school reunion.
It is always a high school reunion, and it never fails. Like everyone always shows up. Yeah. Never lacking attendance.
I was thinking about, I literally, all my greatest thoughts come to me in the shower. I told you this, like every time I see Katie at the bar, I'm like, I have a million things to talk to you about.
No, literally.
There was a situation with someone that I had known in high school and had seen my roommate out at the bar and like didn't know that we were roommates. And then like I was not out with them, and she had come home and she's like, oh, I like ran into one of your friends from high school. And I was like, oh, like, okay, like what's up? And she was like, oh yeah, like it was just weird, like she just didn't really like seem like she had like much good things to say about you. And I just like, I told her like, well, everyone has changed from high school. Like she's actually like a very good friend of mine, and I just like, I'm not gonna sit here and let you talk about her in that way. And I was thinking about it. I personally choose not to concern myself with people I have not talked to in 5 years, 4 or 5 years. But more power to you if you do, honestly. But I was thinking about it, like if my high school self would hate me now, like just the confidence that I have and just like the way I carry myself, like just high school, like I would be so jealous and just so like nasty, like to who I am now. Just like seeing myself, like I got into my dream school. I have amazing friends, an amazing boyfriend. Like I'm just so content with my life. And I think sometimes it's hard to watch other people have that when you don't have that. And it was just like funny.
That is so weird.
Or like, oh, she like, some people have said to some of my mutual friends, like, oh yeah, like she doesn't like me. I'm like,
like you're not using your energy to hate them. It's just I haven't thought about you in 4 years.
Bad, but it's like I really haven't thought about you.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not that deep at all. How would you describe your like high school, middle school self?
Miserable.
Is depressed a good word?
It's so weird because like middle school was like awful for me. Like I don't even know why. Like I just look back and it's like so like it's one of those situations, you know how like your brain like refuses to let you remember bad things like in a breakup or like whatever. Like you're like you only remember the good memories. Mine is like the exact opposite. Like for some reason, I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism because I know like my personal choice is that I'm just not going to go back to our hometown after graduation. So I don't know if I'm just trying to like find reasons like, oh yeah, I'm making the right choice, not going back there.
Really trying to justify it to yourself. Yeah.
But when I truly think about it, like I had amazing friends. We had amazing memories. I would just say now, like, I think too, like it's the comparing, like the friends I have now, like I have no doubt in my mind that these will be my friends for life and that like, they would take a bullet for me. Yeah. And it's so like, I feel like not saying that all my friendships in high school were superficial because I had awesome friendships, but like, it was almost like, it was kind of like situational in high school too.
It almost feels forced. Like you're almost forced to be friends with the people that you share that space with. I mean, how are you not?
You have a class with someone, you get closer
7 hours
with them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like, Yeah, I think now it's just like more like my friends are my friends because they've chosen to be friends with me and
Yeah.
I've chosen to be friends with them.
Yeah.
Versus like when you're in your hometown, it's like, oh, our parents are friends,
Yeah,
so we're
best
friends, or
friends. Yeah.
we had class together, so or we played sports together, and like, yeah, not
I
to
also
shit on
feel
anyone.
like for you can choose to believe this or not, whatever.
Yeah.
You were someone that like everyone knew. Like you were like obviously gorgeous at like such a young, like if you saw me, I didn't fucking look like that, but like you were gorgeous. Like everyone like knew who you were, and that's not even in a bad way necessarily. But do you think that that kind of made you want to leave more because you had more experiences with people that you wanted to leave behind?
Yeah, it was weird. I've like gone to therapy since like a very young age, which I'm totally proud of, and it's like an awesome thing to do. But I remember when my therapist would say like, oh, these situations are only happening to you because other people are insecure and they're like taking their insecurities out on you. And at the time I was like, why the fuck would
like what does the word insecure mean?
and why would someone be jealous of me? Like
Yeah.
it's like when you're going through, like you have all the like teenage emotions and shitty guys and shitty friendships and like, and who thought they were pretty in high school?
Yeah, literally. I actually didn't even care about, it's so weird looking back on it. I had friends that I genuinely didn't care how I looked around them at all. I didn't even really put an effort, I think, until my junior year. But like Emily said, like when you're going through middle school and high school, I don't know. I feel like nowadays it's so social media heavy that you're like, I'm seeing these girls in high school now and I'm like, I look nothing like you did. Like
you have to have your ugly face.
Yeah, you have to. Like if I didn't have my ugly face, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to a microphone.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need it. Like, and I don't get how people who are in high school now deal with that because they're comparing themselves constantly to other people, and social media wasn't even as strong as it was.
We had Kick.
Yeah, we had Kick and Vine, and we literally Emily and I were on Vine
like freshman year of high school. That's so crazy.
And
to think
Instagram
about.
was even. It was definitely a thing when we were in high school. It was definitely a big thing.
I would post pictures of like One Direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I wouldn't care like who liked it. I would post like 5 pictures in one day. Just like pictures that I liked. It
wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And you would post like at your school dances. You would post here and there. It wasn't as big of a deal as it is now. Whereas I feel like now your presence on social media completely kind of parallels to your presence in real life. And it's so weird.
I will say like, that going back to the question that we were talking about, like now that I'm removed from the situation, like I can see more now how maybe a lot of like negative experiences that I had in high school were from jealousy or insecurity, like my jealousy and insecurity too. Like it wasn't one-sided.
Do you have any that like stick out, or any kind of past relationships that obviously didn't go very well because of those aspects?
Yeah, I would just say like girlfriends especially. I feel like in high school it was just so like everyone was so awful to each other. Like just the battle of friend groups almost. Like you had gone to a smaller school, so you guys were all kind of in like one friend group.
Yeah,
but like
definitely.
versus like I went to a big high school and there was like 20 different groups of friends and some overlapped and some didn't, and it was like it was just felt like so like cliquey, and it was never like, I don't think it was ever anyone's intention to be like, oh, you can't hang out with us or don't talk to us. And it was just so like, I feel like that's how it was perceived. And it was almost just like this like battle or like contest of like who's most popular, who does the most things. And it was just like me and my friends were just hanging out to have fun.
Exactly.
And it just,
I feel like it is such a battle of friendships. That's such a good way to put it. And a lot of times having that one best friend is so glorified that it almost makes it so much more toxic, because you want to have that group. You want to have that one best friend or that group of best friends that you can always go to. So people are always like clinging on to different groups. And then that battle, like, oh, whose friend group is better? Whose is more established? And that's, oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally can see how that was. Okay, so talk about some of the past relationships that you had in high school. Let's get into the tea.
Yeah, I would say
Did you date in middle school?
I dated in elementary school.
Yeah, you're like Katie. I had my first kiss in kindergarten.
No, middle or elementary school was like the worst. I remember I was dating someone and I didn't want anyone to know because it was like super embarrassing to be dating someone in elementary school. And we'd like walked into the lunchroom together and everybody started clapping, like the entire lunchroom.
Wait, holy shit. What the hell?
That was the worst.
Did you take a bow then? So you're like, hello.
First year of my life. I'm like, don't even sit by me.
You're like walking in, like waving like a queen.
We're done.
Bye. We're broken up with. Sorry.
Some people would love that. I hated it.
Really?
I was so embarrassed. I don't even know why.
I would be so the opposite. I'd be like waving my hand. Hi, everybody.
I would now, but I was like, everyone thinks I'm a whore. I'm the first like girl to have a boyfriend.
5th grade whore. There she is. You heard it
Probably
first
like
here.
3rd grade. I'm like, leave me alone.
Wait, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, in middle school, I feel like it was just like the classic, like, I didn't have a boyfriend in middle school, but it was like we kick and
we talk and
see each other at football games. Like it was like you never like saw them outside of school unless there was like a school event going on.
Literally.
Though looking back at that, it's like so.
Or they came. I feel like we had a couple guys come to our club volleyball tournament, and it was like, what?
That was like
if you did that, don't do that. Yeah, like
tonight.
Don't do that. They bring like a little sign on like an 8x11 piece of paper. I'm like,
you're
go
like
home.
Squinting to read it.
I like had my glasses. I'm like, oh my god, I can't even see what it says.
Like, who's that? I'm like, oh my god.
We would take like an Instagram picture after the game too. It's like, hi, like, oh my god.
I feel like until my like current relationship, like in high school and like the first couple years of college, I feel like I purposely went for people that I knew it was not going to work out.
Mm-hmm. Like a self-sabotaging move. Yeah.
Like I was like, I knew I like didn't even really like want to be in a relationship, but like I wanted to reap the benefits of it. So I'm like, I'm going to go for someone that's not emotionally available just so I can,
and it's gonna work
I'm going to have
so
someone
well.
that will like give me some attention, make me feel good, vice versa. But like, we're never going to date.
Did you have any boyfriends in high school?
Yeah.
How many?
1 or 2.
Why can't I remember?
I feel like everyone that's listening could pinpoint if that is now.
Well, you talked to someone our senior year, our senior year.
Oh yeah. If you pick up on this, like good for you.
I remember this so vividly because you were talking to this guy right when I started dating my high school boyfriend, and we hung out for like a few weeks on end, just doing random stuff. But I remember that really vividly. How long did you guys talk?
Like almost a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever date or anything, or was it like one of those situationships type of things?
I think it was like a situationship. Like I remember like we did a like boyfriend girlfriend stuff, but I don't remember if we were actually like. Well, I thought we were exclusive. I'm like, I don't know if we were ever actually exclusive. Like, no, you weren't, bitch.
Bitch, no, you fucking weren't.
I need to tell you this story, like off the air.
You guys, Emily and I have a very similar thing that happened to us.
We're going to talk for 6 hours and 30 minutes of this.
Yeah. I'm going to have to edit out the whole thing. I'm like, fuck,
Katie's working a full-time job on this episode.
No, seriously. I seriously will be.
No, that situation. That was like, I can't even like, it is like
She's
a fever
crying.
trying to think about it. Like, actually, what the fuck?
Nothing made sense in high school.
Honestly,
actually, ever.
I'm like glad, like, I think it's so weird when I like meet someone now that like hasn't been cheated on.
Really?
Which I think is so weird. Like one of my roommates is from New York, and that we like me and a couple other my roommates from Wisconsin will talk about like high school and like relationships and whatever.
Yeah.
And she says, I've never heard about so many people getting cheated on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I feel like that's okay. Honestly, though, I feel like I don't know that in high school. I don't know that many relationships. I'm going to post this and then someone's going to DM me and be like, hey, bitch, so by the way. But like, I feel like
I didn't hear about it as much from you guys.
Yeah.
It was more like us.
Like I didn't, I mean, college, that's just a different story.
Yeah.
But there's not like cheating. It's just like a blurred line situationships happen.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, miscommunication happened more so to me in college. But I feel like in high school, I like my boyfriend, like that was fine. Like all my best friends, I feel like it was fine. It was more so like you think that you're talking to someone and you think that they're only talking to you, and then you're like, oh fuck, nope, no, we're not. No, so
I will say, like, looking back on my like relationships that I had before college, I get like embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, it's so weird to think about because I feel like now like I've grown so much in my like current relationship and I'm like at a really good place. But like looking back, I'm like, I feel like I was awful. Not saying that like other people weren't awful too, but like I don't know, like I can't like confidently sit here and say that I was like a good girlfriend in high school.
Yeah.
Which like, I don't know.
But if you had one thing to kind of say to your high school self and everything that you were going through, what do you think it would be? Learning what you know now.
That's a really good question.
I know.
I feel like I could write myself a novel about things. I guess like when you're in like a situation like middle school, high school, whatever, it is so hard to see like people tell you like, oh, like you'll get through this, like you'll get out of it. And at the time, like, you feel like you're dying, like your world's ending. You don't give a fuck if you can, like, you don't give a fuck what's on the other side. And I feel like that's what I would tell myself, but like in a more convincing way, because I feel like you hear that all the time and it's just like you only like advice only works if you take it. And I feel like at the time I wasn't in a situation to like take advice, or
and
like,
you hear the same things over and over again, like everyone says the same old, everything happens for a reason, what's meant to be will be. Like if he's meant to be your guy, he'll come back. But like you don't listen to that because you're so amped up and this is what I want now, and I don't care what happens in the future because it's not going to be this.
And I think high school is so like tunnel vision.
It's
like,
so tunnel vision.
Since coming here, I'm like, I can't even believe I ever like cried about that or ever gave a fuck about that or ever like.
It's kind of weird too, because when I go home, I think my first couple years in college, when I went home, I was so sucked back into that. And I think that was obviously more related to the person I was talking to or like the people that were involved in my life at the time, I guess I should say. But it's so like when I go back, because a lot of people go back there and there's like nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, I love where I'm from. I don't know if you could, I mean, I don't know if you want to say something, but like I do. And I like am still close with so many people there, but it's hard when you go back because it is so different than being elsewhere in the world because it's a small town. That's how it is everywhere.
Everybody always knew everybody's shit.
Everybody knows everyone.
With anything.
No, not at all. And if you had siblings, you know their shit too. Yeah. And it's miserable.
And their friend shit and their parents shit.
Yeah, you know everything. It's so, in a way, honestly, college kind of like resembles that in some senses because I feel like you run with the same crowd a lot of times. Like I see the same people at the bars and I don't know everything about them, but the big stuff you find out, everyone knows kind of thing. So
one of my friends said to me the other night, he's like, isn't it weird that like we see the same like couple thousand people out at the bar every weekend? Yeah. But then there's like like how many more? Like 60,000 more people that you've never seen. Or will never see.
It's so weird because then that's when I think of it that way, I'm like, this school's actually not that big, but then it's like, you're only seeing the tiniest fraction of people and it's people that go out every weekend. And I'm like, that's true.
I like it. I like feeling small. I like feeling irrelevant. I always say that if I saw anyone out, like anyone from my class out at the bar, that they would not recognize me. Yeah. Like the way I be showing up to class.
That is the best part about school. It's like I show up and am unrecognizable. Like sweats, hat, everything on. Like you would think I'm in disguise. Like what am I trying to hide? Nothing. I'm just not doing great and I'm hungover and leave me alone.
That was so hard freshman year. I really struggled freshman year and I think that was like such a big part of it was like walking to class on the first day. Yeah. And like people are wearing jeans.
I know.
To walk a mile to class.
Literally.
Ever like hair down, makeup. And I'm like,
that was a really hard part about coming to college is I feel like you get so accustomed to your life at home and not like you become lazy, but you become comfortable. Yeah. And you come here and these bitches are dressed to the nines at all times. Like I felt miserable, I think in a lot of senses my freshman year. I'm like, okay, if I had any sort of self-confidence in my looks, like it was gone. And you're constantly comparing yourself to other people because there's just a ton of good looking people.
It's such a weird time too, because like obviously you're so unsure of yourself. Like you have to pick a major that you're like, fuck it, I guess I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like here we go.
And like I switched majors, but I honestly felt like it was like kind of like frowned upon almost. Like not, I didn't feel that way because I was like, fuck it, whatever. I switched second semester of junior year to something similar.
Yeah.
But like people could switch from like business to, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be two completely opposite ends of the spectrum and it would not matter.
It doesn't matter.
Don't do something that you're not going to be happy doing. And like we always say too, like it's so funny that like your entire life, it's like your life is just like in constant stages of revolving around something.
Always.
And then,
always
like,
is.
So in college, it's like your major, your grades, like trying to work life balance, work like school going out balance. And like you're going to graduate college and you don't even have to pick up anything with what your major is. Like you could literally do anything you wanted.
You learn more outside skills in college too. Like you learn more things on how to talk to people, how to like be persistent, how to be driven. And those are skills that people are looking for more so than, I mean, obviously it depends on the major, you know, if roommate's going to med school, that's totally different. But if you can do whatever you want to do, but that's the hard part about transitioning is like you're coming to this big university and you're like, okay, who am I going to be friends with?
Yeah.
What am I going to major in? I want to go out. How am I going to do that?
Yeah.
How do I do anything? And freshman year was definitely a hard transition
Like
for
I
sure.
know nothing about my future job based off the major that I have. Like really, I could do anything I want right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think like majors should be like so much pressure should be put on them because it really doesn't matter.
I don't think so either. And also if you have to take an extra year, an extra semester, an extra even class, it doesn't matter. It truly does not matter.
If you like two things, you can do interior design and criminal justice if you want.
Literally.
Like, it literally does not matter.
Literally. Yep. It's so true. You can make anything your own.
Yeah.
You can make it all.
It's so customizable. And I feel like that's like, I wish I would have kind of found that out sooner because now it's like, I'm a second semester senior. Like, the classes that I have now, I'm like, fuck it, whatever, you know? But
doesn't
like,
matter.
I wish I would have like almost, that's advice I would give because I wish I would have realized that sooner. Like, you could do whatever you want. You can have as many certificates, majors, whatever as you want.
Yeah.
If you're interested in it, then do it.
Yeah, no
really
one, and you're
matter.
here. This is the time to take advantage of all that stuff. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
What were some of the things you think you learned the most freshman year? Like, what were some of the hardest transitions?
Definitely like the confidence thing. And I think too, like when I was so insecure and being like, oh, well, like people have their like hair and their makeup done and like they're walking to class, like realistically, who the fuck cares? Because everyone's walking to class with their AirPods in. They don't even, it's the first day of freshman year. They have no idea where their classes are.
Exactly.
They're shitting their pants because they're just so nervous. Like, no, babe, I promise you, no one, I've gone to class in pajamas before. Like
It doesn't
actual
matter.
like plaid pajama pants.
No one is paying attention to you. Genuinely,
and I
no
think
one.
that's like, in a way, can be a hard pill to swallow, but it's also like
Better.
good.
I think it's better.
Like,
yeah.
no, at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck about anything but themselves.
And you have friends too that are doing the same thing and don't care what you do. And you went through like a friendship kind of changes, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even really find my best friends until like junior, senior year of college.
Yeah.
I feel like freshman year is so hard because like you kind of, it's back to the situational thing. Like you're friends with the people that are in your dorm or that you have class with. Like how many people, I would be curious how many people I have on Snapchat that I met freshman year that I have not seen since.
Yeah. Or talked to or
like,
anything. Yeah.
You see people at the bar or like whatever, and it's like bar dorms classes basically. And then like you have to sign a lease so goddamn early here.
Yeah,
So
literally.
it's like you're signing with people that you barely even know. My freshman year roommate, I love to death like that. And so I'm like very thankful for that. But I feel like, it was just like this weird like transitional period. And I'm like glad that we've always like, she's remained with me freshman year to senior year in like the ebbs and flows of other relationships. I'm glad I've always had that like one friend to fall back on. And I feel like that's like a big thing I've learned here too. Like, would I rather have a million shitty, superficial friends, or would I rather have a handful of friends that like genuinely care about? Like, I'm gonna have like the smallest bridal party in the world.
Oh my God, I love it. That's good though. Yeah.
And that I'm totally okay with that. Like, obviously there's people that I like love and care about and are of course gonna be at my wedding, but it's like I don't know, it's just like I feel like I've been more, like how we said, like I've been close to so many people in the past, and I'm like, don't regret that at all. But maybe been a bit more like selective in that, because I think a lot of the times, like when you do have such a big heart, that it can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, definitely.
Very easily.
And you're just trying to find a spot to put it. And like you said, kind of going back to freshman year and having all these people on Snapchat, I feel like in a way that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what I would advise anybody to do.
Filter through a new friend every day.
Literally, it's almost like speed dating. Like you're like, oh, hey, what's your name? Oh, hey, where do you live? Like, what dorm are you in? What's your major? Everything. And then some of them stick, majority of them don't, but you don't want to miss the opportunity of missing
Get to
a
know
good friend.
everybody. You'll never regret that.
No,
like I don't
literally.
regret a single person that I was once friends with.
Exactly.
I love that.
Now we have to get into your relationship now.
Yeah.
I love Emily's current boyfriend.
Me too.
Don't know him super well, obviously. I know
Yeah.
him through circumstances, but great dude. How did you guys
best.
meet?
We met like through a mutual friend. We officially met on New Year's though.
How did you date anyone else in college at all? This is the part. Do we take down a bunch of people right?
Didn't officially date anyone else in college, but I'm like, yeah, it's kind of special now that I haven't, I guess. And I feel like a big thing too is like, not that I was waiting for like Mr. Right to come along, but like, yeah, I think it's because I feel like I wasn't really looking for that. And obviously relationships are nice. I'm never going to like turn one down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I feel like in high school, I was more like actively pursuing like someone, and maybe a little bit like freshman year. But then like towards the end, I'm like, fuck it. Like, do I want this? Am I still having fun? And I feel like that's like so weird because like hookup culture and like dating culture are just so in college are like,
they're so backwards.
it is like,
It's so messed
I'll
up.
never understand it, and I've been here for 4 years. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, and I don't think I'll ever fully understand it. But I felt like when I had met my current boyfriend, it was just like one of those things where I was like, and I think that's what's special about it, because it's a decision that we both made. That was like, maybe this wasn't what like a relationship wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but like him and
someone I want to make it work with.
Were people that were like, okay, well, this was the person I was looking for. So it was like, all right,
That's awesome.
fuck it, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been dating then? How many?
A year last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's congrats, guys. So exciting.
I can hardly believe
This is
it
hope for
myself.
everyone. You can find love in college.
Yes.
You can. Just takes a journey to get there.
Yeah,
So you
right.
didn't date anyone before there. Do you have any like terrible fucking stories that happened before you got there?
We talked about this at the bar. The first non-athlete that I've pursued
Is him?
is the first man that I've had a very healthy year-long relationship with.
So what do we think that says about college athletes, ladies and gentlemen?
They're the fucking worst. The best and the worst.
Yeah.
Nothing you prepare is going to be what actually happens.
Exactly. And even it's always opposite of your state of mind. Like I always thought everyone was going to be dating in college. Like that's how it goes. It's more like serious, more formal.
Everyone finds the love of their life here.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. But then again, when you are dating, or even if you're single and you're looking for someone, it does seem like everyone's dating or everyone's in a situationship. I feel like people are just constantly talking. Everyone is talking to someone. You're talking to them. You just talk to them.
It's like rare you meet someone that's like fully single.
Yeah.
In college, I feel like.
No, that's
Or, like,
exactly
to
it.
an extent. Like they're at least like 1% somebody else's.
Yeah, they've got like a roster lined up. Yeah, there's like very minimally talking to someone else.
I would say like my like advice would be not to date anyone in high school, because I felt like it was just so fucking awful. And like I like obviously am not proud of the girlfriend that I was in like many of my relationships in high school, just because it was, I don't know, it's fucking awkward. Like I'm like, I don't know how to be a girlfriend like in your first couple of relationships. And
you're also like using their identity as your own.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you need a boyfriend to find yourself.
Individual yet.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know who you are, but you're like, oh, but I'm a girlfriend and I'm dating them. But who are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you apart from them?
But then to an extent, it's also weird because it's like you almost have to get that like awkward like stage out of the way so you can like really pursue someone in college or after. I don't know. It's just like such like a back and forth.
It is such a back and
Do
forth.
you recommend going to college with a boyfriend?
With a boyfriend?
Yeah. Or like not like you don't go to the same school.
I feel like there are definitely a type of people that can make it work.
It
From
depends on
my
the
own
situation.
experience, I don't think that I would
from my
recommend.
end, I wouldn't recommend it either.
Yeah.
I feel like college, like we talked about, freshman year was so hard. Like you're finding who you are individually, that it's like I can't even imagine having to like involve someone else's feelings in any of the decisions that I made until
I also
like this
feel
year.
like the hard truth is that even if you are in the most healthy relationship, you're going to spend more time on FaceTime, more time worrying, more time anxious, and simply more time away from what you could be doing than you would if you didn't have a boyfriend.
It's that like cheesy saying that's like, it's either high school or college, I don't remember. It's like, it's about finding your bridesmaids, not your husband.
Yeah, literally. It's like a rom-com quote,
Yeah.
but that's so true. It is. And
like we talked about too, like everyone's you're not growing linearly.
no, you're not.
With anyone, and especially like college. And I feel like that was like what was hard with our younger friends. Maybe it was like college is such a transitional like period in your life, and it's so like trying to balance all that is just so difficult.
Okay, we need to unpack that. Who is that guy on your Instagram? Like, was it last summer or 2 summers ago?
2 summers ago.
That is now dating a super famous person from The Bachelor.
They're engaged.
Okay.
Recently.
Let's hear the story.
Which I think is awesome, by the way.
Shout out them.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We're fans.
I was in LA 2-3 summers ago. I have some friends and family out there, and we had been we were going to a bar one night, which is like a somewhat decent popular bar in Santa Monica, I believe. And we were just like ordering drinks at the bar, and some random person came up to me and was like, that guy plays for the Rams, but he doesn't want anyone to know. And I was like, shut the fuck up. If you play for the Rams, you want everyone to know.
You're wearing your fucking jersey to the motherfucking
maybe
bar.
That's my ego, but I'm like, no fucking chance. Like, oh, yeah, I play for the Badger. No, that's not even like Rams Badger. Oh,
shit. But yeah.
I'm like, not believing that. And so I like went up to my friend who I was there with, and I was like, that guy just told me that guy plays for the Rams but doesn't want anyone to know. And we were geeking. We're like, yeah.
Wait, was the guy
right.
talking to you? Was he cute?
The random guy?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think I have pictures of them. That was just like LA is like different.
Yeah, very different.
And so we had like gone, I think we were like over near him by the bar, and my friend is like a spitfire. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. Like, so he goes over to him and he's like, oh, hey man, like not like what's up? And then I think like he eventually asked him like, oh, like that guy over there said that you play for the Rams. Is that true? And he was like, oh yeah. And we both were like looking at each other like, okay.
Were you with him when he was talking?
I was
to
like
this
behind
guy?
him.
Okay.
And we're like, okay, like, yeah, for sure. I don't know why we like didn't believe it. I think it was like both just like an ego thing. We're like, why the fuck would he want anyone to know?
Well, especially when you're in LA too. It's not like
and
it's
you're, like,
some
at
small
a bar
area.
with like a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. I mean, I guess like it's so like superficial though. I could understand the sense, and like you didn't want people to know because you didn't want them to like use you for your money or whatever. But then I was like, oh, like get his name, we'll look him up on Instagram. And we like have this like whole like scheme, like, oh, like this whole time like still not believing he plays for the Rams. And then like we'd found his name, whatever. We like ended up going to a different bar, and he came with us, like super great guy. He like super nice, and like we all had like a ton of fun together. Like, but this whole time we're thinking like not thinking whatsoever that this guy like plays for the Rams. And
did you get his name before? Did you look it up at all?
no, so we got like by the end of the night we like got his name, but I think like by the time we left I was like, oh fuck, like this guy, like we've been hanging out with this guy and I don't even think I know his name. Like it was just like whatever. And it was like an area where there's like a couple bars, so we had like been like bar hopping, and then we like went home and we just passed out because we were like hammered. And I wake up in the morning and I get I'm private on Instagram, so there was someone in my follow requests, and it was a verified username, and I was like, oh, that like I'm from a small town in Wisconsin. How often are verified people following me on Instagram? And it was him, and I was like, and we looked at his profile, and he had like pictures in like the Rams jerseys.
How
and
old
everything.
was he at this time?
I'm not sure. I think he had just graduated college.
Was he like new on the team kind of thing?
It was like he was like had just moved to LA.
Okay, got it.
He doesn't even play for the Rams anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, he was like a super great guy, like super nice.
Oh my
but
gosh.
then we had told one of my other friends who like wasn't at the bar with us but lives in LA, and he's like a diehard Rams fan. Mm-hmm. And we were like, oh yeah, like we met like someone on the Rams last night. And he was like, shut the fuck up. Who was it? And we like told him, and like I said he was like new. He was a rookie. So like not like, but he knew of him because he knew he'd just gotten signed. And he was like, that's so fucking crazy. Like we have to go out with him tonight. And we're like, okay, we're not like asking this man like, oh, you want to come out with us?
Come
like
on.
us three of like all people, like me and two other guys. Like, he for sure wants to come. And so, but like we ended up I think we went out, and then we just like had asked him what he was up to, and he ended up meeting up with us. And then we were, he also had like one of his like family friends was there with him, and like everyone was super nice. But one of the friends that I was with has a house in Vegas. Lake Mead, and so we were going that weekend
to Vegas.
Yeah, that was like we were gonna drive there and just like hang out. And we had like asked, I don't even know why the fuck, like who got the confidence to like ask this man, but they're like, oh, like yeah, we're going to Vegas this weekend, do you want to come with? And he's like, oh, like I'll have to see like what my schedule is, but like I would totally go.
What time of year was this?
Like July,
like midsummer.
Yeah,
this man has nothing for football. He's like, fuck my preseason,
like,
let's go.
Before like training started or something. And so he ended up coming with us to Vegas, but that was like I got my ID, I was using someone else's ID.
Oh yeah.
And we went to we were going to a Diplo concert, and I for some reason, maybe I'm naive, I didn't think I was gonna have to show my ID at a concert, because like it's not like, I didn't know like usually like I didn't know I have to show my fake ID.
Yeah, exactly.
And they asked to see my ID, and I was like, oh fuck, like whatever. So I just like showed him it, like thinking it was gonna be like a quick like, let's just like, let's look at it, like just to see like whatever. She was like, can you pull up your like settings? And I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like shit.
Like right
looking
away,
for the Apple ID.
Emily Morgan. And she was like, I'm gonna have to take this. And they like took my picture, they took the ID, they took a picture of my real ID, the fake. I'm like thinking I'm getting arrested. Like who the fuck uses a fake ID in Vegas?
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking about it.
Well, at a concert too, it's not like you're just at the casino.
So, like humbling too, because I'm like, here I am with this like man that like plays for the Rams, and I'm with my like friends too.
And you can't even get into Diplo.
I can't even get into the fucking Diplo concert.
Were they all by you when this all went down?
Yeah, I'm like sobbing, and one of my friends like walks over. They're like trying to take my picture because they like, I'm banned for life, whatever.
Yeah.
Casually
Fun.
banned for life from two like the best fucking clubs in Vegas, but whatever. And so they were like taking my picture because I think they use like facial recognition at the casinos. And I'm like, they're like, let me take your picture, and I'm like sitting there like sobbing. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Fucking smile? Like, what else do you want from me? I'm like looking up at the thing, like tears running down my face. But no, it was so funny. They were all super nice about it. One of my friends came over and was like, are you arresting her? And he was like, no. And he's like, okay, then we're fucking leaving.
Did they all leave with you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But so we left and went back to the hotel. I like walked on the Vegas Strip without shoes one too many times. And that's like, if I'm ever sick, that's just probably why. I should probably just think of that immediately. Like my feet were black. So I like walked home, and it's like a long, like I don't think people realize like the strip's like kind of long. And so we're like walking home. I'm like sobbing, like apologizing to everyone. Like, I'm so fucking sorry. I just felt bad. Like, I didn't give a shit about the ID, whatever. It was more like I didn't want to like ruin anyone else's experience, especially because I'm like, hey, we invited this man to Vegas. Now he can't even go to the fucking concert.
It's so awkward too, being the one who isn't 21 and having to bring it down.
To me, like all summer last year. It was just so annoying. But so they all like walked back with me, and it probably looked funny. It's like one girl like sobbing with three men walking behind her on the Vegas Strip without shoes on.
They're probably like, oh, normal weekend day, we're good.
One of my friends had my heels like on his belt loop.
Oh my gosh.
Like to carry them.
Oh my gosh.
And we got back, and like we were just hanging out for a little bit, and eventually I went to bed. As soon as I fell asleep, they all got up and Ubered to the fucking Diplo concert.
Are you serious?
Then I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? And they're like sleeping in the living room. And I go out there and I'm like, hey, like, what's up? They're like, oh my God, we have to show you these videos from the fucking Diplo concert. I like have PTSD. I don't want to hear Diplo's name. I don't want to see him. Like,
if it's on at the bar, turn it off. We're leaving.
And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. They're like, oh yeah, we went to the Diplo concert. Then we stayed and gambled.
They're like, we're actually going to be in Diplo's wedding.
Till like 6 a.m. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we like had went out on like Lake Mead and we were like, yeah, it was a super fun time. It's like very funny. I haven't seen him since.
How long did you talk to him?
Honestly, a couple months maybe.
Yeah. How long after that did you talk to him? Just a couple months.
Yeah. And I don't think it was ever like
anything serious.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was like interesting, and I think like it was so funny. Like, what if I would like I had posted a picture of us on Instagram, and there was about like this was when I was still public on Instagram, so I had my like insights on. There was like 50 people that saved it and about like 75 people that had sent it, and I was like,
awesome.
Wow.
That's sick.
Like, I was just like, it was a cool ass picture. I ended up archiving it because I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, he's in a new relationship and so am I, and I respect that. And it's not like we were ever in a relationship, but yeah, it was just so funny. I was like, this is like, when I saw the insights on that post, like my jaw dropped because like I'll usually get like 0 saved and maybe 1 or 2 people will send it.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm like famous.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a big deal now.
But then when I would like talk to my friends about it, they'd be like, oh, like he's a rookie, he doesn't play. Like they get so defensive about it. And I'm like, okay, that's obviously not what it was about. It was just like a fun, like that obviously not every day that a situation like that happens to you.
That is like such a fun situation.
Yeah, it was I like can't wait to tell my kids that story because it's just so like, yeah, it's a very like
that's
fun.
so
like,
fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So now he's engaged to a very famous Bachelor contestant. What did you do when you saw those photos?
All my friends were sending it to me.
Seriously?
It was like so funny. I think like as like a like obviously when my friends like had seen that like I was in Vegas with him, they like had no fucking idea what was going on because I like wasn't on my phone much. But it was like now it's just like something that we laugh about.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's just fun. It's like I don't like ironic. I don't know like what it even is. It's just like I like see stuff of them now and I like feel like obviously I haven't seen him in so long. So like we talked about, like part of me feels like I like don't even really know him because I'm like obviously I briefly knew him, but yeah, I think it's so funny.
That is hilarious.
When I saw that, like one of my roommates sent it in our like group chat and was like, oh my god, it happened. And I like the weekend before or like the week before, me and my roommates were all like hanging out downstairs and I was like, I have a feeling that they're gonna get engaged soon. I like said that out loud. I was like, I manifested it and I'm like happy if I did.
Yeah,
like good for you. Like
Emily's actually taking full credit. It's
like,
totally
I had
fine.
any part to doing that. Like he hadn't bought the ring months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was so funny.
When did they start dating? When did you see that?
I don't know.
Did someone send it to you when he started dating her or posting with her or anything?
I don't know. I think my friends are LA. We probably like all like were sending it back and forth, just like laughing about it. Yeah, it was like a fever dream, and it was a really awesome story. Great guy. Like
I think that's hilarious. I think the first time I saw it, 'cause I don't follow her on Instagram like I did when she was on the show, but I don't anymore. And I think I saw it on TikTok, honestly. Or maybe it was like a suggested for you on my like explore page or something like that. And I was like, damn, why does this guy kind of look familiar? Like he has a very recognizable face. I was like, this guy looks familiar. And then I clicked on his name. I'm like, that's a familiar name. And I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Like that is so funny.
I know. It was so funny. I'm like really like that summer was like insane.
What summer was that?
I think it was like 2021.
Okay.
So like 2 summers ago. And it was like still like partially COVID, partially not. Like it was just like
people were kind of out.
Fucking odds. It was just like so like
meant to be almost. Yeah.
So funny.
That is so funny.
So funny.
All right, hot take section. I had a couple different ones I was going back and forth with, but then after last night, I feel like I need to say this with the Super Bowl. I think Rihanna's music is far more iconic than Beyonce's.
I would agree with that.
Okay. I feel like she has so many more bangers.
I would agree that that's a hot take.
Yes.
I know Beyonce's like released a lot of like newer albums that I really have not listened to or like felt desire to listen to. But if Rihanna like released a new album, I would totally listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. And also after the Super Bowl last night, we were rewatching like old halftime performances, and we rewatched Beyonce's. Obviously amazing. She's iconic as a human. But if you think about it, I can't name like 5 Beyonce bangers on my hand. Like, she has great songs, and there's definitely good ones on there that you could argue are jams or iconic in whatever sense, but Rihanna has so many.
Yeah.
Like, when I was listening to her music this weekend, thinking about like, oh my gosh, she might play this, she might play this, there were so many she could have done.
I saw tweets that were what that was like, listening to Rihanna perform, and it was like, oh shit, Rihanna sings that song. Oh shit, Rihanna sings that song, and they were like all like really good.
And
I feel like
they're all bangers.
Yeah, and
like,
it was like a throwback too, which was like fun.
Exactly. Like right now, you could I could name so many. Like even like Umbrella, Disturbia,
Run This Town,
S&M, 4 or 5 Seconds. There's so many more. Like,
she was. What did you think about when?
I really liked it.
And when she had her baby bump out.
So at first, I was kind of like, okay, this is an okay halftime performance. Like, why isn't she moving? Why isn't she moving at all? Because they're always so like ecstatic and out there and just crazy on the stage. But then, okay, so when I saw the baby bump at first, I thought it was like that after pregnancy weight.
I saw so many TikToks about this, and it was like trying to decipher between if Rihanna's pregnant or if I'm like body shaming her like postpartum body.
It's so weird to assume someone's pregnant, like a celebrity.
I would hate to do that too. That's why I was like, is she pregnant?
Yeah, like I don't know, but then in a way, I'm also like, okay, knowing that she would be on the halftime show, like she would probably try and like lose that weight or just lose it naturally by,
or just cover it up.
Yeah, or cover it up in a different way. That was my big thing too, because I mean, you can be confident about it, like obviously nothing wrong with it, but I thought the way that it was like out there and designed to be, that's what I'm like, she's just playing this
and
for
she
the
said
reason.
that she had a special guest coming.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Good for her. I think she looked amazing.
I think
that like outfit was really cute.
I loved the outfit. I loved her song choices.
Yeah, I thought they were really good too.
Me too. And at first I was like, oh, why isn't she starting with Run This Town?
Yeah.
I really wanted her to do that.
I said she was going to start with Run This Town.
I thought she was going to, but then Bitch Better Have My Money. That was a good second.
That was
in
good.
Leaving with Diamonds, well, she was like going up, and like I thought it was great.
Well, I saw a ton of people too saying like, oh, like she's lip syncing. One, every artist ever lip syncs at concerts or at performances like that.
Yeah.
But also, can you fucking imagine running around singing while you're pregnant?
Yes.
Like,
also,
you can barely breathe as it is.
I think she was lip singing like half of it, but I definitely think that there were parts where she wasn't, only because some of it sounded not off, but you could tell it was live and you could hear her breathing.
I thought she was a really good performer though.
I thought she was too.
And to come back like that is so iconic, because I saw she hasn't performed in like 7 years.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't released music
Did you
in
see
so long
the
either.
video of ASAP like recording her?
I loved that.
That like pulled on my heartstrings.
I loved that
so cute.
much. Yeah, I thought she was iconic, and I think when she wasn't moving is when I was like, she's got to be pregnant.
Yeah.
Only because
she kept grabbing her stomach too, which was when I was like, okay, she's drawing attention to it, so she must be pregnant.
Yeah, and then
I think someone confirmed it, right? Her like
representative or whatever.
But I was like, I'm not believing it until I see her post about it. You know, like
because so many people on Twitter were like, Rihanna announced she's pregnant at halftime performance. But there was nothing
I was
credited.
waiting for her like after the show
to be like, surprise.
Yeah.
That is iconic, being pregnant and performing the halftime
of Super Bowl. I saw something that was like, did Rihanna really just come out here pregnant and announce her pregnancy without saying a word?
Literally. Like, she's
insane. That is iconic, though.
Yeah, so I thought she was awesome.
She deserves all the happiness in the world. I feel like she just has been through some shit.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you see Chris Brown keeps like subtweeting her? Like he put on his story, his Instagram story, and was like, congrats girl, with like a baby and like a praying emoji.
What?
And he's done that a couple times, like when she had her baby.
Yeah.
He posted like
so
congratulations,
weird.
But he doesn't like tag her.
Yeah. That is so weird. I feel like it would be
brutal like to have your
be
like
a celebrity.
exes that's still that involved.
That
with
would be
like
horrible.
your shit. I feel like her and ASAP are really cute.
Yeah, I really like them. Yeah. I just love her. And I love her voice. I love her music. I love her vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And when she put her makeup on.
Yeah,
like from her own makeup brand.
That.
I was like, this bitch.
I know, like this is so iconic. It was amazing.
That. Yeah,
and
no,
so many
it was
people
really good.
before she went on, like Hailey Bieber and all these people were putting it on their story.
Did you see Hailey sing of Rihanna and Justin? She's like mood for the night.
I know, I
was
love
geeking
that.
at
Like
that.
it was such a girl power. Like everyone was so excited.
Yeah.
It was so. I thought that it was iconic.
I know. I love to see people like building people up like that because I feel like in that industry it can just get so like
miserable.
Yeah.
Fully miserable.
I thought Rihanna really brought everyone together.
Yeah. Rihanna. Love you.
Come back, please. She listens to this.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, fine. Dropping an album midnight tonight.
Do you think she'll go out with an album within a few weeks or so?
I thought she was going
That's
to
what I thought
because
too.
I'm like, she hasn't performed in so long. She can announce her pregnancy any way she wants to, and it'll be iconic regardless because of who she is and because of who ASAP is.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like, okay, like this whole time, obviously I wasn't thinking, oh, she's only going on the Super Bowl to announce her pregnancy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she's going to the Super Bowl to like show that she's still like relevant and how iconic she is. Then she's going to release something. And I thought maybe she would have sang one of her like new songs.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was going back and forth because, well, one, her sales are just going to be up right now because I listened to her today while I was working out. Like, it's just in the back of your brain. But yeah, I don't know. Imagine being that kid and like looking back on that video and being like, oh my
there was
God,
so
I'm just
many
like in that.
There were so many memes about that.
Like a kid in the womb right now. I know. But I just think that was one of the most
I hope
iconic
that she
things.
does, but I wonder because like obviously singing, like being pregnant in general is hard. I wonder if like singing while you're pregnant would like she can't breathe as well.
Yeah. So that's probably overall what I would think though is if she wasn't pregnant, I'd be like it was still so iconic, but she could have like moved around, performed more. But because she's pregnant, she's insane. She's literally
it is so iconic.
Yeah.
I did hear that like Beyonce's like she wrote an album. Lemonade, I'm like all the Beyonce fans are gonna slander me about like
yelling in their car.
when like Jay-Z had cheated on her, and she like wrote a whole album about that. And I
think that was
personally
awesome.
like didn't really listen to it, but I think like the whole like motive behind it is like awesome.
I remember that was iconic, but I think in terms of like songs, I think people just think of Beyonce and they're instantly like icon, and like same with me,
and
like
she's like
great.
she is an icon.
Yeah, she is. But when I think of good music and like you would hear 20 more Rihanna songs in a bar than you would hear one Beyonce song. Like
I agree with that.
you have Single Ladies, Crazy in Love.
Oh my God, I forgot she like even sang that. I was
I
like
know.
trying to think of Beyonce songs I knew.
I know. And then I think she sings like Irresistible. She has those from her album 4, which her 4 album is good. It just didn't get as popular and blown up as Rihanna's did. Rihanna just has more classics.
Yeah.
Like
I'm like glad that she did that because I feel like now people are gonna like. I feel like it would be dumb of her not to come out with an album now.
I agree. Or at least something.
Yeah.
Even like a single.
One song.
Yeah, come on, Rihanna. Just give us one song. You got this.
Yeah.
All right, what's your hot take?
My hot take is that people only use social media for validation.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Huh.
Like to an like I don't think my mom's like posting pictures of like dinner for people to be like looks great.
Yeah.
But like I feel like in a way, like I remember Alex Cooper said this on a podcast once and I was like, honestly, yeah. And the people that I've been like that I've said that to have all been like, no. So that's why I feel like it's like a bit of a hot take.
Yeah, no, I definitely
like,
think that's a hot take.
she wasn't gonna post like her boyfriend because she she said like, oh, people only post for validation and I don't need that sort of validation. Obviously she's like a gazillion times more relevant than I am. And like I've posted my boyfriend, but I feel like I haven't posted in so long.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like, you don't
I still
post.
use Instagram daily. Honestly, I should like post something soon because I need that validation. But like I don't know, it just became more of like a chore to me. Like I'm like I feel like in high school it was like always like, oh, like let's do our makeup and go take pictures. I'm like how many photo spots were there at home that literally every bitch took pictures in front of?
Literally.
And like every time you did it, you thought you were like different.
Top
It was
shit.
like, yeah.
And everyone would post from the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely
I feel
agree.
like in a way, like
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be a hot take, but when you think about it, why are you posting that? You're posting it for yourself, yes, definitely, but if you were doing that for yourself, you'd be fine with it just being in your camera roll.
I haven't had my likes on Instagram in like years.
Oh yeah, same. I haven't had likes on. I might turn off comments too.
I've been debating turning off comments because I'm like,
whatever.
Obviously, like, remember you used to post a picture and you text your group chat like, go comment on my picture.
Like and comment, yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, it's fucking just stupid.
Yeah,
like I don't
stupid.
like, and it's not like, yes, there's like gorgeous pictures that I've taken that I would just like think are fun to post, but like I went on like 4 trips this summer. Last summer, and I haven't posted a single picture from those trips because I'm like, just the thought of like editing them and posting them and being like, oh well, like I was in California, I was in New York, like
it's like, okay, got
like,
it.
I was there and I was having fun and I was in the moment. Like, yes, I was taking pictures because there was pretty sunsets and cool things, but like I don't feel the need to like post them now and be like, oh, this is where I was 6 months ago, but I'm just getting around to it now.
No, I definitely get that.
I don't know. Like, I think it's like hit or miss. Like, yeah, there's some things that I post that I like don't give a fuck about, but like we've all posted something being like, oh, I hope he likes it or she sees it or she comments on it and he sends it to his friends. Like,
yeah, no, I so get that and I so agree. And even like myself, like I'm definitely like a victim to that. Like I love posting, obviously validation's part of it. And then I think that there's another side of it too. Like I post for this podcast to get awareness. Like that's how so many people know about it, is from posting it. But I almost hate that more because then you're just constantly competing with people on social media, and that's how it is. But you are doing it because you want the validation, you want the viewers, you want to be seen, and that's very true.
I feel like it's something like when you hear right away, you're like, oh, no way. But then like you think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, I did do that.
Especially in that context, like posting your boyfriend is a lot of times for validation and for people to see that you have a boyfriend and people to see that you're happy in a great relationship and you're in love and everything. Yeah.
Like my boyfriend and I just celebrated our 1 year and neither of us posted, and we were like in the car and we're like, oh shit, like do we have to post on Instagram? And it was like, why? Like,
do we I was like,
oh, we don't have like any good pictures right now. Like the one good picture we have is the one good picture I posted for his birthday. Yeah. But it's like, I feel like it's almost like expected. Like, my boyfriend knows that I love him and that I care about him and I would do anything for him. I don't like, he doesn't give a fuck if I post an Instagram picture of him or not.
I think that's what's so fucked up too, is like from a follower's perspective, like not me necessarily, but I'm saying a general everyday audience, they might see that and be like, oh shit, so are they broken up? Are they doing okay? Like, is she good?
Like when it was his birthday, we were like, it was like around game day time. So we were like trying to take pictures like every game day. Like, okay, we have to get a good picture. Like that's the thing too. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
like I'm
exactly.
like, oh, I don't like any of the pictures that we've like taken recently, so I'm not gonna post them.
And it's exhausting too. That's part of it. Like you can't just get ready or anything just to like go out. And then the thing is like if you take a photo and you look bad in it, it almost can kill your night. Yeah. Like you're like, okay, I look like that. Are you fucking kidding me right now? I want to go home. Yeah. Like I'm insecure and I don't want.
I have to send you the pictures of us from your birthday. They're so funny.
Me and you.
Yeah. I was wondering if you would even remember that. We were talking about doing the podcast. We're like, we need marketing.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, it's like cheers, like marketing for the podcast. Yeah, I'll send you them. They're so funny. My roommate
recently sent me the disposable pictures from that night, and I was like, awesome. And all of my roommates are like, don't remember that, don't remember that. I'm like, that's awesome.
Because we like stayed like closer to bar close on your birthday, and I was just seeing like everyone that had like came to visit you like leave one by one, all blacked out.
Everyone was like,
I gotta take her home. I gotta take her home. She's overserved. I'm taking her home. And I'm like, gee, they're like dropping like flies.
Literally, we got there so early. We had pre-gamed even earlier, and then we had dinner even earlier. And then my whole thing was, I just want to make it till midnight on my birthday. That's all I want to do. And then it was just, and on your birthday too, like everyone's like, I want to take a shot with you. It's
shots,
not like,
drinks.
It's just, I'm not gonna say no to that. Like, come on, it's my birthday, I'm gonna have fun. But that's hilarious. I want to see that photo. But
so funny.
Maybe should we post this on Instagram? Just be totally like not validating what we just said. Super hypocritical.
It's just for marketing.
Yeah, it really is. I swear. But, I definitely agree with that. I think right now too, body image is such. Okay, do you agree with me that everyone is talking about body image and how it's so disrupting to your mental health? Yeah. But then everything on Instagram is like people posting bikini pictures and everything. Like the influencers who are like, oh my God, like body image is so bad. They're the first ones to post their California picture.
I've heard like, I've seen a ton of stuff about like how like taboo that subject is. Cause it's like, obviously everyone is beautiful and like beauty is not like one strict definition. It has like multiple forms, but then it's like, I don't know, like this may be like controversial too, but I've seen like so much stuff about like how like we promote like super skinny bodies and obviously that's not healthy. And then on like the other end of the spectrum, like that's not healthy either. So it's kind of just like, and nobody's body's gonna look the same. I will say, I feel like that's what like kind of helped me freshman year when I was so insecure. I'm like, I could do the same workout, the same makeup, the same hair as all these girls that I'm seeing that I'm jealous of, and I'm never gonna look like them.
Exactly. Like your bodies are just different.
Yeah.
That is so hard for people to realize.
Yeah.
And that is also what's so detrimental about social media, because like TikTok especially is like posting these easy, simple workouts, or I lost this amount of pounds because I did this amount of like recipe this many times a week. And if I did that and you did that, we would, our bodies would
completely different.
Yeah, our bodies would react completely differently. And that is a really hard thing to learn. I feel like everyone has a point in time where it's either high school or college when you're just going through it with body image. If you're
I
a
think
female,
body image is like a hot take.
Yeah.
Like,
The whole fucking topic.
The whole subject.
It's
like,
brutal. It is so
brutal.
brutal.
It is so weird. And it's so complex too that it's like just to try to simplify it just like does not do it justice. Because I feel like it's so like everybody is so uniquely different.
And everyone has something that they're insecure about. No one is looking at their body and is like, I am perfect. And even if you are, that's great. But the thing that makes me mad is we're constantly chasing after something like, oh, I'm skinny, but my butt's not big. Or I'm this, but I'm not that. And you're constantly like chasing for that other end of the spectrum.
Thing too about like trends. I think trends are so weird.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like BBLs and boob jobs and everything was so popular. Lip filler and like being super tan, and like now it's like the opposite. Like it's like, oh, now we want
to the skinny.
We want natural and we want like like natural features. And it's like, okay, now you followed that trend a couple years ago, paid all that money for that surgery only for something that was like temporarily popular. Like I hope everyone that did that genuinely like wanted that for themselves. But now it's like, now what do you do? Like fuck. That's why like clothes and stuff too is so hard. Like I've just like, I totally used to do that. Like when like street style or whatever was like a thing. I'm like, I don't even fucking like any of this.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm doing it because it's popular. And I've been like trying to get away from that now. Like if I see something and it's cute, I'm gonna get it. I feel like I like have been trying like I can't define my like style by one thing because I'm just like trying not to take part in all those trends because it's
there are
so
people
temporary.
who do it and who genuinely like it, and that's awesome. Like that's for you. And same goes for doing stuff to your body, working out. Like if you're doing it for you and it makes you more confident and genuinely makes you happy, that's a different story. But the hard part with social media is when you're comparing it. You're doing it for other people to validate it. That's horrible. Because you're never going to be happy because you're putting your happiness in someone else's hands. And that's just like not going to go well.
Instagram stock is going to be down like 50% after this.
I also hate this too because I'm definitely so victim to posting on Instagram. I love it. Like I have drafts going. I'm going to post about this podcast. I mean, I fucking have to, but I do like it.
It is a weird thing to think about. And I feel like that's why like I realized like that I was starting to care too much, and that's why I turned my comments off, which fucking sucks because you can't see how many likes other people get, but you can still see how many likes you get.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd rather have it the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want to know.
Care.
Like, and yeah, it's just been so, I felt like I was starting to get a really unhealthy relationship with like Instagram. Like I haven't updated my profile pictures from like spring break last year, almost a year ago. Like, you know, it's just like, not that I want to start posting again, but when it's actually like genuinely something that I like enjoy, like I don't want to do it now just to do it because everybody's doing it.
Exactly.
So many people have unfollowed me. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
You know what I mean? Like,
who cares? And you're always chasing. That's the thing that's annoying. Like even me, someone who does post a lot, it's like you're always chasing. You're always creating, and you're never going to be satisfied. And that's the thing that social media wants you to feel.
I know. I need to go through like Snapchat and Instagram and just delete people that are just like no longer serving me or like bringing me joy that I haven't talked to in years. Because it's like, I feel like in high school, like you follow all these people, and like college, you follow all these people that you met for one night. And it's like, why am I even like...
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the last time I viewed more than 4 stories on Snapchat. Because I'll get to like my 5th person, I'm like, I don't even know who this is.
I literally have I like went through my Snapchat contact list one time and put question marks next to everyone I don't know.
Dude, I have like parentheses and then like a com arts 260 or something like next to
bar.
It. Yeah, like bar. Met them here. Like there's just so many people, and it's great. You can do whatever you want. You can follow them, you can unfollow them, whatever. But when you're putting so much importance on one way or the other, is when it gets so toxic.
Like if someone listening to this genuinely does not want to follow me, you can unfollow me. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like, and yes, it's hard. I'm not saying that every time I see my follower count go down that I'm not like, oh fuck, I should be posting. But it's like I've just felt like that relationship for me was getting unhealthy. So I was trying not to. Like, can we talk about streaks too?
I haven't had a streak in like a year.
And I literally, how many did we used to have? Like, there's people.
Ours was probably like 600 something.
But like in high school, people would have like 97 streaks. Oh my God.
People would go out of town and have someone like keep
log
up with
into
their
their
streaks.
Snapchat.
Yes. That was nuts. And for what? Just
and like
to have
put that like emoji next to their name so they could like search it and like click on all of them. Like now I think I have 1 streak, and if it like it's with my best friend, and if it ended, we'd both be like, oh fuck it, whatever. It's probably like 20 days because we lost it 55 times since we've met.
I do not have streaks intentionally. And if I do have a streak, it's from someone either that I am just started talking to or like unintentionally have talked to for like 3+ days.
Unintentionally,
Yeah.
I know.
I cannot believe the lengths that people used to have. I will snap someone twice in a day and they'll be in my best friends list now.
Same. My mom's like my second best friend right now.
That's just not how it used to be.
And I don't even have like, it was so like funny seeing it. Like, you know how you get like what, like 9 or like 8, how many, 8, 6 best friends in your list.
Like 8 or 6.
I don't even like have it anymore.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you have 2 friends.
I have like 3 in my list.
The rest are
this
like
is
gray
so
slots.
Weird. Yeah. And like I never thought that this would be me.
Streaks used to be
that was like that's thing. What validated a friendship was a streak.
Friendship or relationship. Yeah. Well, how long's your streak? Oh, it's 2 weeks. So you've only been talking for 2 weeks? Because
when it was like, we have 90 days. We've been talking for 3 months. But like when my boyfriend and I first started dating, we would like Snapchat, but then we like would text way more. And it's like, why are we having 2 different conversations? Or why are we like texting and then like just sending each other selfies?
Dude, I think that's the weirdest thing. Like when you're texting someone, like that you've been talking to, this happened in high school. I feel like you're texting someone and then you click on Snapchat, just a blank picture of your face. It's like, okay, great. Like, why?
I'm like and like I feel like for like initially I was like, oh, we like have to have a streak. We're dating, and now I'm like, that's so fucking stupid.
Like we don't need this.
Yeah.
Do you think that stuff will ever go away, or do you think it's only gonna get worse? Because in my brain, it's like, how much more can we take?
I think it's weird because I feel like would you say our generation or like our grade was the first ones that like really grew up with social media?
I would say, well, I was like started getting really big into social media, I say when I was in 5th grade. So in that sense, no, because I don't think I grew up with it, because like my childhood days were definitely normal,
for sure.
Like,
but like teenage years.
Yes.
I feel like even my older siblings, they weren't even as involved in social media as I was when I was in middle school and high school. Like it was obviously a thing, but they didn't utilize it to the extent that we do.
Yeah.
But I think now, I would say we're kind of shying away from it.
I think anyone who is our age and in our kind of lifestyle right now would probably agree with us, at least on the streaks
95
thing.
streaks and grow
Unless
up.
You do, hey man, like, whatever. But I don't know, and I think it's hard too because we can shit on it so much, but that is how you communicate with people in high school. It's just how society is. It's
that's
so
what I think
weird.
now. Like our grade or our like age range has been like going away from it now. Like if I meet someone and I need to talk to them, I'm like, what's your number? I'm not asking you for your Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like don't feel the need, like if I meet someone once, I'm not going to follow them on Instagram because I just like, I barely know you.
Exactly.
I know you don't really want to follow me. You just feel like you have to, and that's the same way that I feel. So like, let's just skip that. But I feel like the people like in high school currently or in middle school currently are still very much like that.
I think we have less based on it, honestly. And we didn't grow up with TikTok.
Oh God, yeah.
Which is like a whole different realm, because I feel like getting famous on TikTok is so much more achievable. So it's like what a lot of like,
never gonna be like overnight sensations.
No, and no one like, it was never a goal for anyone in high school to be famous on Instagram. That like wasn't a thing. You wanted to get a lot of
being
likes.
Being famous
maybe,
on Instagram isn't really, you have to be famous for something else first.
Exactly. That's not a thing. Whereas TikTok, these people are getting like up to like over, I don't know, 20K followers, and they're sophomores in high school. And that's how people start to know you, and then that's how they compare you. And I think that's such murky water.
Like TikTok wasn't even really big to like, what, like sophomore year?
Oh my God, my cousins, my little cousins, I remember I babysat them when I was in high school, and they were on TikTok.
Really?
And in my head, I'm like, that is the most embarrassing thing ever.
Wasn't it like a dancing app before?
Yes, it was a dancing app, and not, they like didn't participate in it, they were just on it. And I remember scrolling through their feed or people they were following, and I'm like, doesn't this person like feel embarrassed? Like it's like what is it? Yeah, like what is going on? And now like I'm on it, and like I don't post. Like, well, I have been posting only because I had a couple people come up to me and be like, oh my God, I saw your like post about your podcast on your For You page. At this point, social media, I use it for this, but I don't know. It's I think not having TikTok was really big, because I think that is really bad right now. It's so
taboo, because I feel like when like TikTok first started coming out, and like Charlie D'Amelio and like all these people got like super famous overnight, and you see like all the PR packages they get sent, or like the brand trips that they do. Like Alex Earl's literally been on a brand trip like every day for the past 2 months.
Literally.
And it looks insane, and all the free shit they get sent, it's like, fuck yeah.
And then
I
on
would
top of that,
love for that to be me.
Like, the fame that they have is
she's
insane.
hanging out with Drake, and like you know, like she's at the Super Bowl with like Tyga, and like, which is awesome. But then it's like, and you're like, oh, of course I would want that to be me. But then I go so back and forth, because it's like, obviously like I've done and said things that I've regretted that were shitty, and that like people could come at me for.
Exactly, like being canceled.
And I like totally think somebody would. Yeah. That's why I was like, when you first came out with your podcast, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like
people are like searching my name on Google right now, like digging up stuff.
No, obviously like I'm friends with you, but that doesn't mean I'm not like genuinely proud of you for doing something like that, because I feel like in the environment that we grew up in, it is so weird. And I've had conversations with my sister too, like she's asked me like would you be doing something differently if you weren't scared of what people from home would think about you? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. Like it's not a definite no.
Yeah. It's when I first started it, I definitely couldn't have done this 2 years ago. Yeah. That's like what I say to people. 2 years ago, there were a lot of people from home that were still very much so involved in my life, and I gave them a lot more importance than they should have had. So I think I was a lot more embarrassed and holding what they thought at a higher power. Yeah. But I knew all along I wanted to do this. And I was supposed to launch this podcast. This is exclusive information, everybody. I was supposed to launch this podcast in, I think, before Halloween. Like, and it came out in December. And I went home either in October or November. And I think something had happened. And I remember I was driving, and I just got wrapped up in, like we said, that tunnel vision lifestyle from home. And I was like, I'm not releasing this podcast. Like, there's no way people from home won't make fun of me. And then I got to the point I came back here, and I was talking to my roommate up late one night, and she's like, you're fucking doing it. She's like, because you're passionate. You don't really care what people think, and people are going to make fun of you either way. And she's like, and you are the number one person who stands for that. So why are you doing that?
But it goes back to that insecurity too.
It's does.
Like they don't have the confidence to do what you're doing, so they're going to bring you down for doing it.
Exactly. And they're going to find reasons to. And sure shit, there probably will be good reasons to shit on me. Like, I mean, that's going to happen. It's inevitable. I'm speaking to a microphone and publishing it. Like, that's how it's going to go. But I knew I would regret not doing it more than I would have, like I am now. Yeah. So Do you have any final words you would like to say at all?
No, this has been so fun. I
Nothing
think it's
you want to
so
send with
overdue.
invisible ink?
I would say maybe this is like controversial.
Okay, here we go. Ending the episode with a bang, people.
I was gonna say if this like episode like makes you feel a certain way, like negatively, like get over it. Low key, because I'm like, but did we not talk the whole fucking time about just how pointless it is to spend your time worrying about shit and like people that you have not seen in years?
People are going to do your own thing. And I feel like ultimately, if you treat people with kindness, have good intentions, and are doing what's best for you,
you will never regret being kind to someone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at
That's
you.
So
We've
like,
come a long way in this episode. I feel like we just lived 5 lives.
Oh my God, yeah.
But merch is coming soon, people. I am so excited. I'm seriously working on it. This isn't a lie. I'm not gaslighting you. Yeah, it's coming. Don't worry. But as always, remember to own who you are, mean what you say, and whatever you do, do with them, sis baby. I will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.